Hey everyone, here we are, just doing a quick quality control check. Make sure all the sound's working here. I might try seeing if I can, sorry, I can't listen to myself and talk at the same time. It just makes me start talking incredibly slow. Anyway, I might try having audio from a YouTube channel, if I can remember how I did this. If not, let's see here. Let's go back to YouTube. Let me find the actual thing before I start doing this. Let me switch my layout here, go back to, get out of studio mode. Okay. Okay, there it goes. I don't know why my chat wasn't showing up with something else first, but let's see here. Okay. Let's do this. Just trying to see how I can do this without all right, I might experiment with that later, because I don't want to get things confused while I'm doing this, but anywho. So let's just get my stuff set up here. Dope. Yeah, I get it. Okay, sounds good. That's not what I wanted. Sorry, new layout, still learning new stuff. Okay, just making sure everything's where it should be and doing what it should. Okay. Welcome to another fun-filled live stream. You may have noticed everything looks different here. Also, I should probably let people know on using the wrong browser. I'm live, but just doing some housekeeping here real quick. So anyway, you may notice stuff looks different, and it is because I have my iPad on the, nope, other way. Sorry, it's like the opposite here on the screen now. That's what I was figuring out past few days. It was thankfully very easy. Like literally all I had to do was plug my iPad into the Mac Mini with the USB-C cable, and it worked. So good on them for making that super easy. And of course I had to rearrange my screen a bit and resize stuff so it would look okay. Yeah, so I'm still learning OBS and still figuring things out, and things are going good. Let me just send out an update on Blue Sky real quick here, then we'll get cracking. Dang it. All right. So tonight what I'm doing is as you can see in the menu here, I'm going to be drawing stuff on a Twitch overlay that I threw together last night. This is all just going to get scrapped. None of this is like, you know, in fact, let's do this. Let's just, whoops. Some of the interface things about Procreate still kind of, I don't want to say get on my nerves, but are a little awkward for my taste, but okay. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the music thing. Because I don't want it like, I guess if I had headphones on, it wouldn't be an issue with the mic picking it up. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's not something I gotta decide on right now. So, so I saw this. I'll post this in chat here. I watched a video of someone drawing a overlay in Procreate, and it looked super easy, and it was, once you just, you know, figure out the dimensions and stuff here. Where's my, okay, there we go. There we go. Share, copy. Okay. That's the video. The channel is TheJadePlant, all one word, each word capitalized. TheJadePlant. I'll type that there too. So they had a nice little easy tutorial about how to make an overlay in Procreate. I'll kind of step through it here, I guess, just so I can, you know, share the knowledge. So you make a new canvas, you go up here, and you got to make it, I already have the dimensions here, but it's got to be, okay, it's not showing the pop-up for that. That's weird. Okay. Let me make sure this didn't like freeze or something. Yeah, it did. Okay. Okay, what's going on with iPad here? It was working a minute ago. All right, well, I hate to do this, but let's try this. Okay, there we go. This is my first time actually like live streaming with it. Like it worked fine into OBS, but this is my first time actually like doing the live stream with it. So there we go. So you hit new canvas. You want your width to be 1920, height 1080. She recommended 600 DPI. So that's what I did here, and then I'll just start a whole new one just to, okay. Create, okay. Then the key thing here is, so you drag the black to the thing here, and then I'm not going to do this because I've already done it, but you would save it as a PNG, because the trick is this thing is the ratio for your screen if you're doing 1080p, which is what I'm doing, and which, I mean, I could technically do a little better than that, but 1080p has fewer issues it runs into, because I don't need to do stuff in 4K. And as someone who's worked in live video television for 20 years, I'm a big believer in not everything has to be in high definition. So sure, some things do, but not everything. So anyway, what you would do is you'd export this layer as its own thing, and then, whoops, delete it. And then you might hear my cat Rags banging on the door behind me. And then you figure out your background color. I'm just going to do this really kind of quick here. And there's your background color. And then you go to Add, Insert a Photo. And then that's your screen template, and then you'll resize that to like however you want. So this will be your main like game screen if you're gaming or whatever. But for me, it'll be in my overhead phone thing, and you just kind of figure out what size you want this, and then you do the same thing here. So what you're doing is you're making your cutouts for your camera. When you're doing the big screen, you want to have uniform selected down here. When you're doing the one for the webcam, you can kind of do whatever. You know, and again, this is just me quickly throwing something together. And then you'll merge down all these into one layer, and then you'll cut out, I'll just walk through this real quick here. Merge down, merge down. And then what you want to do is make sure you have a background color or turn it off actually. So then what you do is you go to this one, no, this one, do? I did this wrong. Cut. There we go. Yeah, see how I had it selected, and then you hit cut, and then you're doing the same thing. You see like the little check mark here, or grid, that's the transparency of the background. And then what you'll do is you won't have a background, and then you export it as a PNG with transparency, and this allows you to dump it into OBS. And yeah, so I'm going to get out of this one, go back to this one where I kind of figured stuff out a little bit, and we're just going to sort of start from scratch here. I have my little logo image down the corner mainly as a color reference for that I can use for with the eyedropper tool. And then I'll figure out what to do. So let's lock some stuff down so we don't draw on anything. We don't need to. Actually, hang on. Unlock. Rename. Okay, I'm gonna put on my fancy, I get used to this camera being like the opposite, my fancy iPad glove. It helps. I also got this nice little holder thing for my Apple Pencil. Won't work when I gotta stick that pencil on the iPad to charge it or to connect it, and so I have to take it off, but thankfully it's got this slit, so it's very easy to, you know, take off. And I like it a lot. You can, it's reversible, you can flip it the other way so you have access to like the tap stuff on the end, but I never use any of that, so it doesn't really matter for me. Let's see here. No, that's not what I want. Dang it. So I snapped some pics of what other people were doing just to kind of give me ideas. This was more of like a layout idea, or yeah, this was me just like doing screenshots of channels I found interesting to kind of get inspired, see what they were doing. I paint burbs, just to give them a little shout out. Like I like the kind of drawing painterly stuff, and I liked the frames they had around things, which is something I'm definitely gonna do. I'm gonna increase my screen brightness if I can get the drop down to work. Okay. Let's start with that. We'll start with that. Call this webcam frame. Always put stuff on other layers. There's no reason. I can have 300 plus layers on this. There's no reason not to have stuff on separate layers. So let's see what we can do here. This is going to be a lot of messing around, and there is a good chance I'll probably do something completely different in the end, but it's okay. That's why we're here. So again, I'm using my little logo image here as a color palette idea, which I may change and not bother with. Let's see, let's go with the problem is my margins here are pretty small. And this area here is where my chat box will be. Let's see what we got here. The Kirby Crackle one, this is a brush made by my buddy TheJadePlant. It's kind of fun. So the thing to remember is, you know what, I'm going to make this a little darker. Get a little more contrast. So anything like the, as an example here, so pretend this is my webcam. Oops. So anything, you know, would be covered up by the, anything in the webcam will be covered up if I draw on top of it like that, which is kind of neat. But, man. All right. I'm on the right layer here. Yep. Okay. Sorry, it's cracking my back. What else we got here? This is the real problem with Procreate. There's too many options. Oof. that's weird. Whoa. I don't hate that. That's weird. Whoa. Not using that one. Ooh, weird. Now I know why these are in the abstract category. Nope. I don't hate that. That's kind of neat. Like I said, there's a very good chance this, damn it, this whole thing is not going to get used at all. I'm just kind of just figuring this out as I go. rename this. Ouch. Whoa. Dang it. It's throwing me off here. Yeah. That's too much. I forget. Whoa, weird. If I mouse over the iPad screen in OBS, then it like does like some second, then my mouse shows up on the iPad. Weird. That interesting. So that's my next appearance. Art Feast in Old Town, August 16th. Whoa. Okay, that's not what I want at all. What? I don't want that. Let's see what difference this makes. Yeah, leave that off. Yeah, I'm undecided about what this should actually be. Like if I should just do cat stuff or do like different found cartoons or something, or but the good news is I can kind of do whatever I want. So if I decide I like something better, I can shake it up. It doesn't matter. Should be doing those on different layers. I can put them behind so they get cut off. Let's do that. I'm also out of practice using Procreate. I haven't used it in so long. But hopefully this will actually get me using my iPad and Procreate more, because now that I know I can easily live stream stuff, I'll be more apt to do stuff on stream with it. I mean, I like doing the overhead stuff with the traditional art, but this definitely has its advantages, that's for sure. Okay. Whoops. Just put my Twitch view to full screen. There we go. It's not what I was expecting it to do. Some of these brushes I just don't really like. Sure, why not? So that's gonna, whatever. Again, I don't know if I'll end up actually even using this. It's just kind of a test more than anything. I'll definitely work on figuring out how to add music to the stream. I mean, I think I got it. I just wasn't sure if it was working the way I wanted it to work. The thing is, actually, too, this overlay won't really work for me using the iPad because the iPad's aspect ratio is different than, oh man, wow. I just barely bumped my USB-C cable and that was enough to, I need to get a better one. Wow. Anyway, as I was saying, the iPad's aspect ratio, which I did a screenshot earlier of it for my own reference, but anyway, it's iPad isn't shaped like how this cutout is on the screen. So I actually would have to make a different one with a different aspect ratio to use with if I'm doing just iPad stuff. I actually went in today and reconfigured the shape of my webcam and chat window to fit this screen layout better. That's not what I want. I'm still toying with moving my regular streaming day to a different day and or time, perhaps earlier and on a weekend day, but it's I got to figure that out still. Because I'm like tired. Oops. Oh, man. All right, well, it's been an hour and I'm kind of running out of steam. I'm sorry. So I will call it good for now and either get back to this one later or do a different one. I'm gonna kind of, like I said, I have to figure out a different template for when I'm doing iPad stuff because the aspect ratio is different. But like I said, you can see me next in Old Town on August 16th at Art Feast. I'll be selling all kinds of stuff there. And yeah, so that's my next local show, and hopefully I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, and have a great week.